The title of Professor Sereno's address today is Historical Contingency and Ultimate Aims. Paul.
Over eons of time, myriad species have flourished and perished in the face of competition and catastrophes, something Darwin famously called the grandeur of life. This evolutionary tapestry is etched in the fossil record and ingrained in the anatomy and genes that survivors like ourselves carry today. My science, paleontology, traces the threads of this tapestry by digging up creatures from deep time in order to understand how evolution works over millions of years. We have discovered some ground rules, such as the timely, almost clock-like extinction that awaits all species. Chance events, however, like an earth-shattering asteroid, also play a major role. Looking back across deep time, we are amazed at evolution's handiwork in fashioning fins into limbs and into wings in species long extinct, but we also stand in awe at the unpredictable power of happenstance. The predictable and the unpredictable, the yin and yang of evolution, applies in particular to our species. We yearn to see ourselves as the fine-tuned pinnacle of evolution, something more than an odd and plucky survivor whose lineage more than once teetered on the brink of extinction. In paleontology, we call such circuitous pathways historical contingency. Now, a good life often flows in a similar fashion. Quote, "The full enigma of Darwin's life has never been grasped," unquote, according to his greatest biographers. A practiced liar, you see Darwin over there on the screen, and an attention seeker in youth, he was pulled from secondary school on account of his dismal performance. On the prestige of his family name, Darwin enrolled in college to obtain a medical degree. But he skipped classes with regularity, abhorred dissection, and eventually dropped out. Yes, he dropped out. He then re-entered college to become a country parson in the Anglican Church in an effort to avoid more demanding careers in law or the military. There he took classes from noteworthy scholars and spent much of his time wandering the countryside, collecting specimens and poking at rocks. Then, as he awaited ordination, an opportunity fell into his lap. Position for a well-bred gentleman, perhaps a naturalist, who might entertain the captain aboard the HMS Beagle during her 2-year voyage around the world. After his father relented, Darwin leapt at the opportunity, and the course of history and science was altered. I, too, am an improbable scientist. I was born not far from here, second of a family of 6 children. There you see us on the screen. My mother, an art teacher, has an identical twin sister, and they married brothers. The parallel family grew up in Los Angeles. They also raised 6 children over the same period. There's the 12 of us together, 6 boys and 6 girls. We met for the first time when I was 15 years old. You see us there. There were no academics in our family tree, the grandparents with only an elementary education. Similarly, there's no entrenched scholarly tradition among large American families of Portuguese or Italian origin. Yet all 6 of our children in our family became scientists, I, the most unlikely. Like Darwin, I was an attention-seeking prankster, performing poorly in grade school. For my parents, I was no less than an accident-prone nightmare with a deficit disorder of some sort in today's typology. In 6th grade, at the hands of a gym teacher who held me vertically on the back of my neck, I collapsed to the mat unconscious and in serious trouble. I had swallowed my tongue. Later that same year, another gym teacher knocked me unconscious with a volleyball, and I hurt myself badly in countless accidents of my own design, and so on. On the bright side, in that same 6th grade, I was smitten by a young English teacher. and my sterling performance in her class provided a stepping stone to 7th grade. Perusing a dictionary in high school improved my weak vocabulary, and I was accepted at a state university not far from here with the aim of becoming a studio artist, much to the relief of my parents. There you see a few drawings. Accompanying my older brother on college interviews later in my undergraduate career, I fell under the spell of paleontology during a behind-the-scenes tour at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Setting my paintbrushes aside, I left for New York to study fossils and, ultimately, to travel the world to uncover their secrets. I recount these life stories to extol the virtues of pathways marked by unpredictable life-changing events, small and large. Contingency is to be embraced, not feared. Darwin's foray into the church, mingling with the great naturalist clerics of his day, was hardly a dead end. Rather, it prepared him fortuitously for his global voyage and celebrated role in overturning a theological explanation of the natural world. In my own modest journey, time spent in the art studio with live models and abstract forms has turned the reconstruction and even the discovery of fossils into exercises in visual art. The credo of this university has a similar theme, that an interdisciplinary liberal education spawns creative excellence. Grounding of this sort will hold you in good stead because you will face an uncertain job market. The road ahead will be demanding, and it will demand, in turn, experimentation and exploration. You must cast aside doubt, follow your interests, feed your curiosity, trust your instincts. You must, and you can, really, only in hindsight, connect the dots that underpin a creative life. Having come this far, I have little doubt that you will indeed find your calling. Keep in mind that the real sadness in life is that some of our finest talents and capabilities will go undiscovered. Now, is it possible to harbor any ultimate aims if the journey ahead for you is so uncertain? Well, had I not survived my troubled past, I believe that some interesting creatures, like the one on the screen, might never have been discovered. Some students who have joined me on those journeys might never have gotten inspired. And some kids challenged in challenging neighborhoods might not have discovered their interests. With these as tangible examples, my ultimate aims have long been to make this world, simply put, a more interesting and better place in which to live. Should your aims here at this university with that degree in hand now, should your aims be any less grand? Look around you. This is a university that welcomed the landmark Chicago's World's Fair, just over there, where the Ferris wheel was. It inaugurated the nuclear era, just over there. This is the home to some of the greatest scientists, writers, historians, and composers, where black holes, life's origins, dinosaurs, and countless other discoveries are brought to light, and where Nobel Prizes are so commonplace that subfields like Freakonomics arise to compete for attention. This university was also home to a professor who now holds the reins of our nation. It is too late to deny that you graduated from the U of C. Too late to profess that you never heard of a megascav hunt or a polar bear run. Indeed, it is too late to claim that none of your fun has died since you arrived on campus. The eyes and expectations of the world, indeed, are now upon you. The key to doing great work is simple. It's truly to love what you do. Finding what you love to do also is essential to a satisfying life. Is it not that simple goal? To determine what you love to do? The principal purpose of your time in this intellectual kaleidoscope? On a larger scale, this is an urban university that you decided to come to, not a college in a bucolic setting. The communities that surround us, far from a liability, are a gift, for they remind us daily of the challenge we face in this century of information. I see myself in the kids from the neighborhoods, where graduating high school is uncertain, where opportunities often slip by unnoticed. A sea of unrealized potential surrounds this and other universities. a long-standing problem that is begging for a solution. The great challenge is how to actualize that potential, how to harness that energy. Quote, "Science has been taught too much as an accumulation of ready-made material which students are to be made familiar, not enough as a method of thinking, an attitude of the mind," unquote. Those words by John Dewey, a professor here and founder of the lab school just behind us, appeared in the journal Science 100 years ago exactly today. Articulating ideas that are hauntingly prescient, he went on to say, quote, "The future of our civilization depends upon the widening spread and deepening hold of the scientific habit of mind. That the problem of problems in our education is therefore to discover how to mature and make effective this scientific habit." End of quote. Dewey foresaw a century ago the urgency of open access to advanced education and the primacy of science literacy, not only as a privilege of some, but as a human right for all and an integral part of maintaining a participatory democratic nation. Melting ice, spilling oil, an aging population, can we face these mega problems as a participatory democracy without broader adoption of critical, yes, scientific reasoning? My wife Gabrielle Lyon and I co-founded Project Exploration a decade ago because science is still misconstrued as the matter best suited for elite nerds. Our aim is to bring science opportunities to those on the screen, as an example, least likely to engage in science or to become scientists, so that the next generation of scholars, teachers, inventors, and yes, active voters better reflects who we are as Americans. Time is short. Should you not make one of your aims to tangibly make in some way or another tomorrow a little bit better than today? In conclusion, I praise you for your outstanding academic achievements. I hope that my brief words have cast contingency, because I know doubtless many of you are feeling like you don't know exactly what's coming next. I hope my words have cast it in a hopeful, even favorable light, that the most interesting work in your future may likely emerge from unexpected quarters. I also hope that you become difference makers. That's right, difference makers. To that end, I have a small request. When you raise the glass tonight to celebrate your well-earned academic status, save the last sip. Would you do that for me? Save the last sip for a special toast to dedicate yourselves to making this world a more interesting and better place in which to live. Have a great life, and best of luck.